This is set up for about 30 minutes or so. In the meantime, we've made another batch. But first we'll remove this form. And it's simple enough. Put the dolly under and pull it forward. And it's all set for the next batch. What I have underneath it is this weed barrier fabric that I got at Lowe's. I got a huge, like 300-foot roll of it for, I don't know, $30 or something, and it works really well. Just keeps the stuff from, before I used it, the mud would adhere to the bottom of the brick, and it didn't work very well. This just keeps the mixture separate from the mud. So that's it. Next thing to do is score it, just like you would with the brownie blocks. I put a screw in the middle that kind of scores it as it goes along, but it didn't really take. Back here we've got an extra wet mix. So you get the idea anyway. I'm going to come back and do this a little later when it's firmer. But you can score all these and just let them set overnight, and tomorrow they'll be ready to pick up and stack vertically so they can dry better. But that's it for now. We'll come back and do this later. This is a really wet mix, and we're going to have to wait a little longer. But we'll go over and work on the walls while we're waiting. We're going to wet down the top of the wall. If you don't wet down the wall, you end up sucking all the water right out of the mix when you put it on the wall. So we wet it down really well, and then we're going to put a whole bunch of blocks up right in a row. It's so fast. When I work alone, it's not quite so fast, but when I have a helper, it speeds things up like 10 times faster than what I do. We made another mix. This time we made it thicker simply by adding more newspaper. We don't want it too watery, of course, because then it will run right off the wall. But we're just going to lay out one layer, one joint, and we've got our blocks all set, and we'll go right along and put our blocks right up. And I suppose we could even speed things up more if we just had another person, namely me, if I weren't running the camera, loading buckets, and we could just have a little sort of a fire bucket brigade. So I'm going to put this down now, and when we're done putting this whole layer on, we'll come back and we'll put the blocks on. We could do probably 2 rows before it condenses, pushes down too much. But ideally, we could go right around the whole building with 2 rows a day, or 2 rows in the morning, and then come back in the afternoon and do a couple more. Go up in no time. Okay, just put the stuff on, even it out with the trowel, and the blocks go up pretty fast. Here's the thing about this stuff. Since the mortar is made of the same material as the blocks, once they're put up, they really bind to each other, and we end up with essentially a monolithic wall. It would be even better if I could put the blocks up in the green state, say 4 days after they had been poured. They would still be a little bit wet, but my whole idea in doing this is to have a lightweight product that I can handle myself. And, what's the point of lugging around those heavy things when I don't have to? So I let them dry out completely. In fact, these have been sitting here since last summer. They've gone through this winter with 2 feet of snow on top of them. The snow has melted, and they've sat in mud and frozen and thawed and frozen. There's been absolutely no ill effect to these blocks whatsoever. In fact, because of the nature of cement, I think they might actually be stronger. and they're working real well for me. A few things I've learned. Number one, on the back of my fireplace here, it looks horrible because in just learning how to do the blocks and not having had any instruction whatsoever, I didn't realize the importance of uniformity of size and shape. So on the back of the fireplace, it's not going to bear any load or anything, so I'm just using all these odd sizes, and I'll plaster over it. And once it's plastered over, who's going to know? It's going to look great. Just like over here, I had a sort of pieces were sticking out and didn't fit together right, and I took the saw and I just cut off whatever didn't work right and plastered over it, and with another layer of nice natural plaster, this is just going to look great. We've got a wall that's, how thick is the wall, Orb? Like a 13 inches? 13 inches, and then with the plaster on the inside and outside, it'll be 15 inches with, say, an R3 per inch. Do the math, and we're going to have a really well-insulated house here. And I don't think it's ever going to fall down or anything. It's solid as can be. Okay, so there we go. We'll continue putting these up, and we'll have another couple of feet of wall working our way up. We're going to go up to the top of these vertical posts, and then we're going to add a few more vigas up there because they're too far apart. Once we get that done, we've got a pile of lumber over there just waiting to be put up. It's rough sawn 1x6 and 2x6, and we'll put this roof on. And inside, we're doing some adobe walls, and I don't know how many times I've said I'm so thankful I'm not doing this entire house out of adobes, because they are so heavy and hard to work with. And man, you just blink at them and they break apart. They're not, I don't find them user-friendly at all. But we're going to have our adobe wall here, and the rationale is that this will soak up heat during the day. This wall we're looking at is between the living room and the bathroom. It'll take in the east sun in the morning, and as the sun comes around the house, it will continue to warm up that wall. The whole front of the house is windows. So, let me just get over this pile of rocks. As the sun comes around, as I'm coming around now, it's just going to completely warm up the inside of that house. And then that north wall that he's working on now, with the super insulation, is going to keep us toasty warm all night, while these adobe walls on the front radiate heat back into the room. So there we go. Here's the project. We've still got a lot to do, but it's so encouraging to see these walls going up so fast. And it's absolute joy to make the blocks. So that's it. We'll give you an update when we're ready, and thanks a lot for watching and being interested in our project.